already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. Yes, I know I look like I've been working in a donut factory. I'm running town right now, so things get a little messy. So today I wanted to share a story of something that happened. Something that was very powerful. Something that was gut-wrenching to listen to. And there's a whole lot of different messages in the story I'm going to share today. So I have a worker. Y'all know my work situation, being a boss, employees, yada, 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 right? I hired one of my guys back. Welcome back, Sean. I'm glad that you got it. You got it together. You realize the grass is not greener on the other side. And I'm really glad to have you back. Thank you. That's going to allow me to get back to recording, y'all. I can get back on these videos. It's going to open up some time for me. Let me, back in the gate, man. Back to what I love doing the most. So with Joe, let me explain Joe. Joe is from Massachusetts. He's got this strong Boston accent. And he has worked for me now, I don't know, man, 7, 8 years. He has been clean for, I want to say, going on 7 years. He was an addict. He has no problem me saying that. And we came to a point with work that it was like, yo, you're either gonna stop getting high or you don't have a job. He chose to stop many years ago. Been a great worker ever since. And for the longest time now, it's been just me and Joe. Joe's not your average dude, man. He's not an aggressive guy. He would rather talk about things than fight. And he had a situation here recently where him and his baby mama have been going back and forth because he cares about her sobriety. She was in treatment and she got out of treatment. Like, all this stuff's going on. And he's been waiting for her. He hasn't been with another woman in a very long time. He's been waiting on her. Well, one of her family members starts running their mouth, right? This is all leading into today's story. And he's like, man, I'm just so tired of people running their mouths to me, Jay. And I told him, I said, Joe, I'm not telling you to get yourself in trouble, man. Don't take my advice. I'm just going to tell you what I think. I think that people treat you that way because they don't expect you to do anything. I said, I don't think you're a bitch by no means. I said, but sometimes you just got to show people, man. So this guy starts threatening him, saying, I'm going to bang you, bang your son, talking about he's going to bring, the pipes into it, the ratchets into it. He's gonna break the biscuit out, and he's gonna do something to him and his son. This is what the dude is saying through text message, right? I said, nah, Joe, something's gotta happen, man. He's making threats against your life and your child's. I probably shouldn't have said all that. I gassed him up, man. I put a battery right in his back, and I didn't mean to. I didn't think it would lead to anything. I was just letting him know sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. So he's driving through the neighborhood, and this guy lives with I believe his son's grandmother. He's going there to take his son to see his grandmother, and the guy's in the yard. Boop, bop, boop, bop, boop. Gave him the business. That's the first time he's ever unleashed everything he had inside. He's a grown man, and he's never been the type to fight, but he'd had enough, and he gave dude the business. You know what I mean? 100% gave it to him. People were outside recording. The Ring cameras caught it, so it's not like I'm saying anything that ain't fully on video and already known about. And he plans on pleading guilty. So miss me with that, man. You incriminating him? No, everything I'm saying is he's already said. He's already told his side of the story and everything I've said. So he smashes this dude. Boom, 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 boom. Trashes him. Goes to get in his car, and the dude comes running around outside the house, ups the pole on him, starts firing at the car. So he gets up out of there, right? Dude's done bucked off at the car, let off a whole bunch of shots at the car. He's got his kid in the car with him. This dude's shooting at the car, right? So, of course, the guy runs. The cops get called because there's gunshots. Neighbors see them fighting. Neighbors seen the gun come out. All this stuff happens. Of course, the neighbors call the cops. Bullets hit the house across the street, and so on and so on. Cops he comes back. He's driving past the scene to see if cops got called, and they, get out the car, get out the car. They pull out on him, right? And they pull him out the car. They put him in cuffs. Well, the guy that up the thing on him and popped off them shots, he ran. He's all beat up, elephant man looking, all lump, and done ran off, right? All looking like Fraggly Rock. Well, they couldn't do anything to Joe at the moment because they didn't have a victim. The victim ran because he knew he just messed up. He just shot at a car with a child in it because you took an ass whooping. That's stuff I'd be talking about. There's a lot of cowards in the world. First thing you want to do is run and get a gun, right? Can't take an ass whooping like a man. Make threats, but you take that ass whooping, you want to run and get your gun. So they take him into custody, but they can't do anything. But this is a Commonwealth state, meaning the Commonwealth will pick up charges and prosecute you. They let him go. Monday morning, we're at work. I check. I say, yo, you got a warrant, homeboy. Damn. He's not a jail guy. He never been to jail. He's like, man, what am I do? I said, turn yourself in. I said, all right, I'll drive you there. I'll be out front. No matter what your bond is, I got you. I promise you I'll post your bond. And he had a maliciously bodily injury, some new, it's not a malicious wounding charge, a new charge I ain't heard before, right? It's like maliciously bodily injury, something like that, right? So it takes all night from around 3 o'clock till well after 10 o'clock for me to bond him out. I paid the bondsman at like 5:30, but you know, then their shift change. Well, in the meantime, I had a conversation with a woman, an older black woman who was sitting on a bench, and she was just kind of rocking, and I could tell that she had a lot on her mind. I'm leaned up against this column. There are people everywhere waiting on their loved ones to get out of jail, bonding loved ones out of jail. I'm out front of the jail just chilling, minding my business. And she was like, she said something to me. She said, man, I've been here since such and such. I said, you've been here since what? She said, I've been here since like 5 o'clock. I said, man, I've been here since like 3. She was like, how long does this take? And so we get to talking. She tells me that her cousin's in there for a DUI, that he had court that Monday morning for another DUI and was in custody for a new DUI. And I'm like, damn, that's no good, man. Got to quit the drinking, man. Can't be drinking and driving. And then I could see that something was bothering her. You could see it. Like she wanted to talk to somebody. Like she needed somebody to talk to. So I said, is everything okay? And she goes into today's story. I don't even know what to title this video. I don't. So this video has been made over a period of 2 days. That's why you're going to see my shirt change from being dirty to being clean. Because I originally had a whole different video in mind. But there's so much that goes into what this woman said that there's no way I can talk about this and the video I wanted to do. So I'm going to make this video strictly about my interaction with this woman and everything we talked about. Now, out of respect for her, her loved ones, I'm not going to add any names. I'm not going to add any news clippings. I'm not going to add any news videos. And there's lots of them. I know his name. She told me his name. Like, we went through all that, and I immediately started looking, and I'm like, wow. I found information on the first go-round with her son and what he went through. And I found the information on the second go-round and what he went through. But I'm not putting none of that up. I didn't tell the lady I was a YouTuber. I just, I was in construction clothes, just a regular guy. As much as I wanted to turn the camera on, I wanted to so bad. I wanted to be like, do you mind if I record this? But that would have been a major invasion of privacy, and I felt like she was like confiding in me. And for that reason, I'm not going to put any names or dates in today's story. She's just a lady who has been through a tragedy, and I'm going to share that tragedy with y'all in hopes that somebody stops, that this video will be what stops somebody. Remember this, it takes a second to lose your life. You might lose it to the prison. You might lose it to the graveyard, but it takes a second. When I caught my case, the whole incident with the robbery and all that lasted less than 30 seconds. It would take me 10 years to pay for those 30 seconds. Think about that. Think about that the next time you go to do something illegal. 30 seconds cost me 10 years. In this situation, 30 seconds cost a life. With all that being said, man, you know how to seen it. You know I done lived it, so let's relive it. And out of nowhere, she starts talking to me about her son. The story she would go on to tell me is, I think, every parent's worst nightmare. Her son, and I'm going to go ahead and start off like this, rest in peace, was 19 years old and was living in Petersburg, Virginia. Petersburg, compared to where I live, Richmond has got bodies and stuff popping off all the time, but Petersburg is poverty-stricken. It looks like it's about 60 years behind when it comes to looking at the buildings. There's a lot of bandos, a lot of abandoned houses. A lot of dudes are broke. Everybody's trying to find a way to get out. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody's got a Glock with a 30 on it. Like, literally, everybody's got a Glock with a 30 hanging off of it. It's not a place you want to be. If you got business out there, get your business done and get up out of there. I know so many dudes that have lost their life in Petersburg just from going to Petersburg. No bad intentions, not in the middle of nothing. Went down there, looked like they might have had a little bit of money and somebody run up on them, pop them, drop them, and run their pockets, right? So she tells me that her son had been shot before, and he had been shot in the head twice. And that at first they told me he wasn't going to live. Then they told her that he would be a vegetable. Then it was he would never walk again. Well, he ended up making a full recovery. He just lost sight in one eye. He survived all that. After that, he starts playing the house. He's still deep in the music scene, trying to really make a name for himself. She showed me some of his stuff, and it's a damn shame, man. That boy could have made it up out of there with his music. But just like anything else, everybody started hating on him. Anytime you start doing anything greater than what the next man's doing, especially when you're surrounded by stuff like that, people start hating, right? So she said she's sitting in the house and her son's in the bedroom and she can hear him in the bedroom. And she tells him, hey, turn the TV down. She said she had just taken her medicine for the night, like Tylenol, normal stuff that, you know, older people take. And she was going to sleep. And she said about maybe 3 minutes later, she heard a whole bunch of banging on the door. Now, she said she thought that it was a family member, a cousin or somebody banging on the door, right? She didn't hear her son leave. She didn't know her son had left. Mind you now, he's 19 years old and he's already been shot in the head twice. He's a miracle to begin with, a walking miracle. The doctors reconstructed his skull, put a whole new skull on top of his head. She showed me pictures. You couldn't even tell that this had been done, right? So she said he leaves and he goes out the room, he goes out the house, and then the next thing you know, she hears a knock at the door, right? Bum, bum, bum. And she yells to him, hey, go get the door. Nothing happens. The knocking gets louder. She says, hey, go get the door. Like, don't make me get up and go get the door. Come on, go get the door, boy. She says she don't hear nothing. So she says she puts her night glasses on. Mind you, now this is an older woman. She puts her glasses on. She comes out. She looks over his bedroom. The light is on in his bedroom. The door's cracked. She thinks he's still in the room. She opens the door, and there stands her son's baby mother, screaming, they killed him. This girl is standing there screaming, they killed him, they killed him, they killed him. And she said she looked at him and she's like, who? Killed who? What are you talking about? And she said the girl continued screaming, they killed him, they killed him. And she's like, who? They killed who? And she says the name. She tells the lady, pretty much, they just killed your son. This is his baby mama at the door. This girl's been hit 3 times. She's got 3 bullets in her. Her knee is completely dislocated. She's bleeding bad. She's got his brains all over her face. And she's screaming they killed him. He was in the car. He came outside. She pulled up out front. I guess called, hey, I'm here. Like any girlfriend would. He come out, got in the car with her. She said no sooner than he sat down in the seat, they were talking. She said she heard a crack. Pow! Like a loud crack. She said, and before she knew it, glass was going everywhere. She could see the gun sparking, flame, fire. And he's screaming, I'm hit, I'm hit. And somebody's at the car, standing there, dumping through the window. Dove over top of her. Crouched, slumped his body over top of her. When a bullet then went through the side of his head, and he was slumped over her, and she said it popped all over her face, and she was screaming. And meanwhile, they're still firing. Bullets are hitting them, bullets are hitting her. And she made it up out of the car. She got to the door, let the mama know what was going on. The girl would be in a hospital for quite some time because of all the bullets she took. So I sat talking with this woman, right? And she goes on to tell me that the shooter, everybody knows who the shooter is. The shooter is just a young teenager, young, under the age of 18. And everybody knows. The cops know. Everybody in the neighborhood knows. They know it's him that's done it. He's also linked, and it's a well-known fact that he's linked to several other bodies out there. I think 4 total, and then they just got him on one for a lady that she said one of the truest things yesterday, and you can agree or you can disagree with this statement I'm about to make. She said, why is it if something like that happens to a cop, ain't no one person running around doing that to 4 cops, 5 cops? That happens to a cop, somebody's leaving this earth within the same few minutes. That night was going to be apprehended within the next few days. But out in these areas where it's poverty stricken, it's shootings are normal, they're not doing nothing. And then these dudes out there that are running these things, like the older dudes, they're using youngins. They're using young boys. I mean, like teenagers, because they tell them, hey, look, first of all, if you get caught with it, like they catch you with the gun, you ain't gonna do no real time. You're juvenile. And if you catch a body, man, you 21, you'll be out. 24 at the latest. The strength, I'm not gonna say pain. The strength I saw in that woman's eyes yesterday was remarkable. She has more strength than I do. That's for sure. Strong, strong woman. And like I told you, this just happened last year. So it hasn't even been a year. And she's sitting showing me pictures of him holding his baby, feeding his baby with the bottle, him during his recovery process. All he wanted to do was make it out. He had fallen back from the streets. You know, the first time I think she said he got popped, he was at a club performing right out there. And like I said, Petersburg is just grimy. And he got popped out in the parking lot. Just being out there, dudes just ran up on him and crab in the barrel concept, like you ain't going, if we can't go, you can't go. Nah, stay here. Here. And that would be when they first popped her. The sickest thing is the lady said that the cops came to the hospital. She was up there with the girl that had been shot all up. Her son was already, he was pretty much DOA. So she's up there with this girl, right? Praying that this girl lives. And the cops come in and they say, we want you to hear something, but we don't want you to freak out. It's pretty graphic. And she said, okay. They said, you're not going to freak out. She said, whatever you got, let me hear it, okay? Like, either you can let me hear it or not. Don't play games. So her son had done this song, so it had its own beat. This other dude from out there, this youngin', had just dropped a song to that exact same beat that was her son's beat, from her son's song. And in this song, he detailed everything that happened that night. Everything that happened that night. And then he also, in the song, revealed that not only did he do that to him and take his life, but that he was the shooter the first time as well. He tells all this in his song about how he shot it. He said, man, I shot you through my own window. This dude was in his car and seen him going by and fired, boom, right through his own car window. He's in his car, fires through his car window to hit him. Gave all these details in his song that only the shooter would know. And the cops are like, here, listen to this. Listen to ask. Go make an arrest. Y'all have pretty much a full confession right there. And they didn't do anything about it. Her cousin would end up coming out of jail. I told him, stay out of trouble, man. Stay out of jail. Say what you want. I didn't even get into the fact that I'm a YouTuber. I just wanted to hear her story. Everybody's got one. I need to say this, and y'all need to listen, man. To you youngins out there, they will lay you down. They will put you in prison for the rest of your life. There ain't no guns in prison. There's not. You got to get a knife. And I'm telling you now, they ain't throwing knives. You're not going like you did with your gun from a distance. No. You got to get up close and personal. They're not going to care about your age in prison. They're not going to care about how much work you put in the streets in prison. No. Somebody's going to look at you and think you're cute. You ain't got that Glock 27. You ain't got that 40 no more. That 23, that 19, you ain't got none of that no more. It's you and him. You might join a gang. Let's see how long that lasts. Then it's going to be them versus you. Y'all wake up, man. Y'all wake up. The music's promoting, the drill music and all that's promoting this. You got to have a body to be cool. You got to pop somebody to be popular. You got to be a damn fool to fall into that. No conscience. No conscience. Just take somebody's life because you want the people in the neighborhood to think that you're like that. That you really like that. The lady that, I think I'm going to try to reach out to her, man. I've already found her son's article. And I think I'm going to try to reach out to her. I would like to sit down with her and have her not only explain who her son was, who he is, how he was brought up, life was like in the projects, the first go around when he was shot in the head twice, leading up to this go around where he was shot on his back and in the head twice. I want to get into the effects that it's had on her and her life. She moved hours away to the middle of nowhere. She said, I didn't want to be around people. I don't want to see people. somebody asked her, "You ain't scared of the bears?" You know what her response was? "Nah, I'm scared of the bullets. Bear ain't never killed nobody I know. But them bullets." She said there's a sense of safety now that she lives out there, and if she hears a gun go off, she knows that it's somebody like shooting at a target or a tree, or they have a purpose to be shooting. She's not the only person I've met, unfortunately, that's lost a child. There's a list of women I know that have lost children to gun violence. You watch kids, it's not like when we were kids. You know, we played cowboys and Indians, good guy, bad guy, cop, robber. These kids are like on some real turning sideways, leaning, like they're shooting and like hiding behind trash cans and popping up beside cars. Like they're reenacting things they've seen out where they live at. And the crazy thing is, most of these kids know who the shooters are. If the cops were really to talk to them and they weren't already so trained, a lot of these dudes that are taking the lives of their bigger brothers, their cousins, their uncles, their fathers, they wouldn't be out there to still continue doing it. Like this boy that took that lady's son. 5 people. 5. Before they took him into custody. In a possible way, man. No possible way.
That wasn't supposed to be today's video, man. Today's video was originally going to be Tough Guy Goes Wrong. About this dude named Bulldog that had everybody convinced that he was like the hardest thing ever. And then when he got tested, he couldn't. He ran, he used the bathroom on himself, cried, fought like a 6-year-old little girl. But he had bluffed his way out of so many fights and had punked out some of the biggest dudes with his talk game. That's what today's story was going to be. But after talking to that woman at the jail, I felt like this had a much more important message. And the message is, don't do what others do. Do what's right. Don't let this music lead you into or influence you into taking somebody's life. Just because you live in a bad area don't mean you got to be a bad person. Don't mean you got to do bad things. 5 bodies? That's serial killer status. And he's not the only one. Chicago is infamous for having teenage shooters, man. They going on drills. They nicknamed it, it's a drill. We're going on a drill. I remember fire drills in school, tornado drills. Now drill is when you and your homeboys get in the car, y'all strap up, and y'all ride around looking to take somebody's life, man. Going to take somebody's son. Petersburg, Virginia, for the people that live out there, they'll tell you it's a war zone. It's a war zone. And the better you're doing, the more likely you are to lose your life. A lot of musicians come out of Petersburg. A lot. When's the last time you heard of one going mainstream? They don't. They don't, because they don't make it. Google rapper shot in Petersburg and see how many things come up. It's crazy. It's like if you're in that scene, you got to be strapped up. You got to be out there really living that life. It used to be guys would rap about things that they didn't really do. Them dudes just rap about stuff that they're really doing. Them songs you're hearing, that majority of that stuff is real. Them boys out there taking lives, man. And then they think that they're just going to get a record deal and then just going to tour and it's all going to just go away. No, you end up getting indicted. Snatched off a tour bus. Grabbed in another country. Pulled off the stage. But most times you never even make it to that tour bus. You never make it on that stage. Nah. You become a viewing, a poster, a t-shirt, some spray paint on a wall. Because somebody decided they wanted to drill you. To that lady, man, my heart goes out to you. To anyone that has lost anyone to to gun violence, my heart goes out to you. I'm gonna wrap this up. But anyways, these jails, these penitentiaries, these streets, these senseless shootings, man, all just crazier worlds in an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. Just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute.